Welcome to this video presentation of the Dell Compellent Storage Center thin import process. This video includes an overview of thin import, prerequisites and requirements, and a demonstration of the process. The thin import process is used to copy data from remote volumes to storage center or to migrate and mirror data between storage center and a remote volume. When data is imported from a traditional thick volume, storage center leverages the thin write feature and will not write any zeros to the destination volume. Before using the thin import process, the following prerequisites and requirements must be met. First, the source array in storage center must be properly zoned to allow the source array to present a volume to the storage center. Once the remote volume is presented to the storage center, it must be classified as an external device. Next, a QoS definition must be created to manage the transfer of data from the external array to the storage center. And finally, the destination volume on the storage center must be the same size or larger than the source volume. To make this process easier, creating a QoS definition and a destination volume can both be completed in the thin import wizard. Now, let's move on to the demonstration. To perform the thin import process, I will be using the Dell Compellent System Manager, which is included as part of the Enterprise Manager client installation. This process can also be ran from the Storage Center web GUI as well. While not a requirement, it's highly recommended to create a custom migration storage profile before performing the thin import process. By default, new data is written into Tier 1 storage. Depending on the amount of data that you're importing directly to Tier 1 could potentially exhaust all available space or cause performance problems. To minimize this risk, we create a custom storage profile that will write the imported data only to Tier 3 disk. To create a custom storage profile, expand the storage group. Clicking on the storage profile group below shows all the existing profiles on the right-hand side of the screen. Right-clicking on the Storage Profiles group gives you the option to create a storage profile. In the Create Storage Profile window, uncheck the boxes for Tier 1 and Tier 2 storage, leaving Tier 3 storage checked. Click Continue, and then assign a name to the new storage profile. In this case, I just called the profile Import Profile to make things easy. Click Create Now to create the new storage profile. When this process is complete, you can expand the Storage Profiles group and see your newly created storage profile below. Now that we've set up a custom storage profile for the import, the next step is to make the external disk accessible to the storage center. To do this, we need to right-click on the disks folder and then select the option to scan for disks. Storage Center will look at all the available paths and the enclosures to see if anything new has been presented to it. When it finds something, a red unassigned folder will be displayed. Within that folder, you will see the external disk that was presented to the Storage Center. Even though Storage Center can see this new disk, it can't do anything with it. At this point, we have to classify this disk as an external device. Right-click the disk and choose Classify Disk as External Device. Give the disk a name that's something identifiable, and then click Classify Now. What happens now is that the external disk folder actually turns from red to black, and the disk itself has the new name that you assigned to it. At this point, the disk is now ready for the thin import process. Before starting the import, it's important to make sure that nothing is using your source volume. Unmask or unmap the source volume from the source array if you haven't done so already. To start the thin import process, right-click on the external volume and select Thin Import from External Device. Next, I'll ask you to select the type of thin import to perform. If you select Copy, data from the source disk will be copied to the destination, and that's it. If you select Copy Migrate, the data gets copied to the destination, but a replication is set up between both volumes to keep the data in sync. In this case, I'm only going to copy the data. Clicking the Copy button brings a warning message about space consumption on the storage center. Basically, this goes back to what was mentioned in the overview, that your destination volume needs to be at least the same size or larger than your source volume. Clicking Continue will prompt for the destination volume. Since one isn't created yet, I need to click the button that says Create Volume. Select the disk pool in which you want the volume to be created, then click Continue. Choose the size of the new volume. In this case, I'm choosing 50 gigs because that's the size of my source volume. Then I will click the Advance button to choose the custom storage profile that we created earlier. Click the Custom button and then choose that profile. Click Continue, and then make sure the read and write cache are enabled for this new volume. If you wish, apply any replay profiles to this new volume. In most cases, the daily replay profile will work. Click Continue, And then if you'd like to create a new folder for this volume, click the button and then create a new folder using any name you'd like. Once a folder is created, it's going to ask you for the name of the volume. By default, it adds import 1 to the name of your external disk. And for right now, that's fine. We can just leave that name the same. And then I'll click Continue to move forward. Make sure that everything looks correct, and then click Create Now. Once the volume has been created, the next step is to select a QoS definition to manage the flow of data between the two volumes. You can choose an existing QoS definition from the drop-down box, or in this case, click the box to create a new QoS definition. In the link speed box, choose the link that is the speed between the external array and the storage center. In my case, it's 4 gig. You also need to specify the number of links between the external array and the storage center. In this case, it's 2. I'm going to click Continue. The next screen is going to ask if I want to limit the bandwidth on the connection. I'm going to say no, I have no reason to do that. You need to assign a name to the new QoS definition. In this case, I'm just going to call it Import QoS Definition. And then I will click Create Now. Once it's created, you have to make sure that it is in the drop-down box, and it is in this case, and then I'm going to click Continue to use this definition in the import process. Once everything looks correct and you're ready to move forward, click the Import Now button to start the process. To monitor the progress of the import process, select the View menu at the top of the screen and then select Import. In this screen, you'll see the amount of data remaining to be copied and the percentage already copied. Hit refresh in this window if you'd like an update. The process imports data pretty quickly, but could take quite a while depending on link speed and how much data is being imported. Once the import process has completed, it will disappear from the import window. When the import process has completed, switch back over to the System Explorer tab to see the new volume populated with data imported from the external volume. Before mapping the new volume to a server, we need to change the storage profile of that volume so all new data is not written directly into Tier 3 as it was on the import. To change the storage profile of the volume, right-click on the volume and select Properties. In the Volume Properties window, select the Storage tab, and then select the storage profile you'd like to use. Click OK to apply the storage profile. The last step before mapping the volume to a server is to create a manual replay. Creating a manual replay of the volume effectively creates a gold copy of the data before any attempts are made to bring it online. If we look at the Replays tab of the volume, it only shows the active replay and no restore points for that volume. To create a manual replay of the volume, right-click on the volume and then select Replay, and from there choose Create Replay. In the Create Replay window, check the box to never expire so the data will always be available. Write a brief description of the replay and then click Create Now. When the process completes, the manually created replay will appear with the active replay on the volume. At this point, the volume is ready to be mapped to a server. That concludes this demo video for the Dell Compellent Storage Center thin import process. For more information, please visit www.dellstorage.com. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.